Hi, welcome to Tarot Mandala. So this is basically a tarot cards in the form of a mandala. And we are doing the death card here. And I'm going to try to get through it because there is a lot of symbology in the death card. I think, though, the biggest takeaway is that, the energy of death is really has to be paired with the energy of rebirth, right? Because when something is dying off, what's happening is that you are making way for the new. Okay, now I can get into that a little bit more, but I really want to make sure I get through the symbology. So, first of all, there is the crown in the death card, and that represents authority, achievement, inner sovereignty, embracing your power, knowing your self-worth. And these are very important energies to really embrace as you're going through a death, a dying off of something. The horse is also there, and the horse represents strength, freedom, movement, taking charge, propelling forward. And the reason why, like the horse represents freedom is because when you do take charge of your own life, right? When you do move forward in the face of challenging things such as pain and sadness, that often comes along with death, that is very freeing, right? Just knowing that you are the creator of your own reality is very freeing. Also, in the death card is the sun. And the sun represents vitality, clarity, enlightenment, radiance, growth, and illuminating darkness. And this is the rebirth, right? Because through the death, you are working through the releasing of these things that no longer serve you. And you're bringing light to all of that, right? And that light that you bring is the sun. It is the illuminating darkness, the clarity. It's the transmutation of that energy. Okay, so there's armor in this card, which represents protection, defense, resilience, strength, and it also represents a shielding from challenges. And I find this to be really important because, when you are in the depths of going through the energy of death, right, where you are really, you know, surrendering to the release of something, it can be a very painful process. It can be very sad and very difficult and very scary. And so, you know, I love the death card because it is a card where I know it's always going to be combined with or paired with rebirth. And the rebirth is beautiful. It is like you get to reinvent yourself. You get to let go of the things that no longer serve you. And from that, create, a new identity, a new being, a new person. But when you are in the depths of it and it is painful, you do have to protect yourself. That armor is important. You do have to, find ways to keep yourself strong and protected, because if you sink into it, without any protection, it can be a very slippery slope. It can be a very dangerous place to be. Like, for example, I know people who have, lost a parent or a loved one, and that grief was so painful and so difficult for them that, I don't think they ever fully recovered from it, because they sank into it so deeply and so hard, that they didn't quite come out, the same. And so this idea of armor is very important. Okay, the boat represents journey, exploration, navigating life. But it also means like you're navigating life with a promise of growth, right? Like you have to learn something from this process. And really, any process you go through, the gift is the learning, right? The experience and the learning from it. The rose is also there. The rose represents love, beauty, passion, fullness of emotion, depth of connection. And these are all things that are available to us as we release, right? As we let go of the things as that, that we don't need anymore, or that for whatever reason need to leave, and we make way for the new, we can find connection in that with other people, and we can really feel the fullness of our emotions through that, right? Okay, the tower. The tower represents sudden change, upheaval, awakening, breaking down structures, and creating space, And those, again, these are all very transformative energies. And then there's the flag, and the flag represents identity, purpose, allegiance. It's declaring your intentions and standing for your beliefs. And again, this is another thing that is very important, as you go through a death, is to really know who you are and what you stand for. Hugely important, so you can make it through.